So good afternoon, Manoj Krishnan here. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this faculty development program on generative AI for teaching and academic writing. So on behalf of our management, academic staff college, I extend a warm welcome to all the participants and our distinguished chief guests. Today's academic world is undergoing the rapid change. So teaching, learning, and research are no longer confined to traditional methods. So we need some emergent tools powered by the Gen AI such as automatic content generator, academic writing assistant, AI-supported assessment system, and creative learning platforms has opened up the new possibilities and new challenges and also new responsibility for the educators. As a teacher and the researchers, it becomes essential for us to stay updated and adapt and make informed and ethical use of these technologies. So this program has been thoughtfully designed to help us to develop confidence in integrating the Gen AI meaningfully into our daily teaching practices and the research writing. We are truly fortunate to have with us Dr. Lakshmi Badi sir, who possesses deep insight into the AI tools, educational technology, and research innovation. So SaaS expertise will undoubtedly enrich our understanding and guide us in adapting the AI thoughtfully and effectively. I take this opportunity to thank our management and our honorable president and Malini ma'am, director academic staff college, and Gomadi ma'am, dean academic staff college for their constant support in arranging this event. I also appreciate the active participation of all of our faculties. Once again, I extend my heartfelt welcome to all of you. Oh, let me start with the start introduction about the speaker. It is great pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker for today's faculty development program on Gen AI, Dr. R. Lakshmivadi sir. Sir is an accomplished associate professor at the Directorate of Learning and Development at SRM Institute of Science and Technology, bringing over 15 years of rich experience in teaching and research to our gathering. He earned his PhD in 2014 from VIT, where he focused on innovative methods for removing the contaminants from the aqueous solution, utilizing the sustainable and cost-effective materials. With more than 50 research publications, including 38 in Scopus Index journal, SAR has made a significant contribution to this field, garnering over 1,350 citations and achieving an impressive H index of 19, which reflects the impact and quality of his research. In addition to his research accomplishment, SAR is a trained and recognized innovation ambassador by the Ministry of Education Innovation Cell. SAR has received grants from AICTE and EDI Ahmedabad to establish a startup center and organize the entrepreneurship awareness camp, showcasing his commitment to fostering the innovation and entrepreneurship in the education. As a passionate educator, SAR holds a distinction in the certificate in the educational leadership from Cambridge International Education and serves as a accredited program leader for National Teaching and Learning Certificate course. His leadership has empowered numerous educators to enhance their teaching practice and create impactful learning experiences. Today, SAR will share his insight on drawing from his extensive expertise. Without further delay, I go over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for such a brief introduction and a lengthy introduction, I guess. And I'm happy to be part of this FDP on Next Gen AI for teaching and learning. Yeah. And I hope this session will open up insights on how we can able to use AI for teaching and learning. And I would like to keep this session as more interactive rather than a teacher-centric approach, because I will be mostly focusing on the learner-centric approach. So I don't want the session to be a monopoly or a teacher-centric or presenter-centric. So I want every one of you to be interactive throughout the session. And I also request the participants to have your laptops or mobile phones with you ready so that you can, I'll be posting some QR codes so that you can scan and post your responses in the QR codes, and we'll make the session more interactive as well as learner-centric. So that is my first wish, which I would like to expect from the participants. So with that, let me get into the topics straight away, so I don't want to delay much amount of time. I'm using a couple of devices here, so I might be in the video now, I might be looking at some other devices, but actually I'm using two devices here. I hope the screen is visible, I guess. And yes, I'm able to see on the second screen. So I would like to know what are you hoping to get out of this session. So I want to hear from you. What are your expectations from me before we get into the contents or the topics which I'm going to discuss with you. I would like to hear from you what you're expecting from me out of this session. So I request the participants to either scan this QR code and then post your responses in the Mentimeter, or if you don't have provision of scanning, no, we can type menti.com and use this code 58147041 to join and post your expectations, what you're expecting from this session. So this will help me to keep the session interactive and meet out your expectations.
Yes,
If I know what.
kindly scan that QR code.
Yes, sir. Please scan that QR code. Or else you can type menti.com and use the code that is mentioned here, 58147041. You can use this code, or else you can straight away scan this QR and you can join. I hope you all have scanned, I guess. Can I change the screen? Can I move to a different screen if you have scanned?
Yes, dear participants, kindly respond.
I hope you're able to see options of recording your responses, I guess. So what are you hoping to get out of the session?
Some participant shows that message in the chat box.
Sorry, sir, someone
We
saying.
have V only.
But two people have joined, and I think others are yet to join, it seems. And I hope you're just posting your expectations out of the session, I guess. If you have login from your laptop, you can use your mobile phones to scan this and post your responses. You'll just take a couple of minutes to post. If you have any difficulties, please let me know. So one participant has responded. Use of AI for teaching and research. We can navigate. %60.8%. This is how the markets are giving returns for you. Around 28 participants, including me and the organizers, but only one has responded. So I'll be happy to see if others also respond so that I can know what is your expectations and I'll try to fulfill your expectations. If you joined late, you can use this join@menti.com and you can use this code 58147041 to join and post your responses here. AI tools. So I'll move to the next part. Those have missed posting to the expectations. So you can scan this QR and you can post your responses now. So if you are missing out this, we can at least try to participate in the next activity which I'll be posting. So this is another activity which I would like to know the prior knowledge of the participants so that according to I can fine tune my discussion as well here. So the next is now you will see 4 questions on this QR. Once you scan this QR, now you will see 4 questions. So you can respond like it's a very simple yes or no kind of, and just selecting some options that are already available there. So there are 4 questions are there. One is yes or no type of question, and the other one is selecting options, and the other one is a word clock kind of. So please scan this QR, or else you can visit this Participy and use this number to join. So 2 ways are possible. So you can scan the QR and directly land onto the room. AI for teaching and learning, TL, AI for T and L. You will see a room there. So you can click that and you will see options available there. And the second option is like you can go to partc.5 and use this code to join the group or join the room. So there will be some simple questions. So this will help me to understand about a few questions that are available there. So which is highly relevant to the topic that we are going to discuss. I hope you have joined, I guess. If you have joined, I'll move to the different screen now. Okay. You could see. So do you use AI for teaching and learning in your class? One participant has responded and says yes. And I'll be waiting to see the responses from other participants as well. And I'll not be knowing who has posted the responses and all. So your names not be displayed. So you can feel free to post your responses here. And I'll post the link as well in the chat box so that you can click and you can directly join as well. Option. I posted the direct link on chat box. So you can click on that link and you can join this as well. More options are available. Some honest response. One says no. As I mentioned, I would like to keep this session very interactive rather than being a presenter centric. So where I'll not be speaking for much amount of time. And I don't want to speak for much amount of time. And I would like to hear from the participants as well. And sorry, sir, I think I'm not able to hear you properly.
Sir, using the link you sent, using that link, I opened, sir, but I cannot found any question.
You will see AI for T and L, sir. You need to click that and you will enter into the room where you will see these questions. You'll also see there are some other set of questions as well. And which AI tools are you familiar with? So ChatGPT, 5 participants have responded, and 5 say they are very familiar with ChatGPT. Good to know. And Gemini and Perplexity. So 3 of them say they are familiar with the Gemini and Perplexity as well. Great to hear. And for which purpose you use AI tools in teaching and learning? So preparation of PPTs, yes. Recent advances, clear definition, better understanding, to give innovative assignments, I guess, to highlight key takeaways. Okay. Better understanding. Simple and easy way. Yes, true. Next, if you see, there is a link that is available in the question. So you can click on that link and take a survey. So which will have 20 questions. So to identify what type of learner you are. So this is very, very important in order to know what type of learner, so that accordingly, we can able to design the course contents or the assignments or PPTs, whatever it is, learning mix, whatever it is. So this is very, very important to know what kind of learners are we. And the same can be used in a classroom as well to understand the learners' diversity. So which we never do it in our day-to-day classes. And we aren't aware of this as well. Okay. So it is very important to know the learner diversity. So what type of learners our students are. So the same, what we are going to do this, we can also use this in our classroom as well to understand our students' learning styles. So if you click on that link, there is a link that is available in the question itself, so educationplanner.org. So it's a self-assessment. So you will see there will be 20 questions. It's all some generic questions will be there, not a subject related or specific content related. So some general questions, so which will ask you to respond for the options that are available there. So based on the responses you give, once you complete the questionnaire, 20 questions, it will analyze and it will give you what type of learner you are. So you will see results as either visual, auditory, or tactile, or kinesthetic. So based on that, you can post your responses here. After you take up that survey, now based on the survey, you can respond to this question. So this will also help me to know what type of learners I am going to interact with, whether they are visual or auditory or tactile. Some of them have responded as visual and auditory. I hope only five are very active in responding to the questions out of 30 plus participants. So meanwhile, the others are also doing it simultaneously, I guess. If you all wish to post your responses here, so please click the link that is available in the chat, and you will see AI for T&L. So click on that, you will see the questions. So where you can post your responses. As of now, 5 people have responded for all the 5 questions that are available. Okay, so with the initial responses, I could see people use AI tools for teaching and learning, and they are very familiar with the 3 tools, that is ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity. And they also use it for recent advances, to know the recent advances for PPT preparation, and a simple and easy way of explanation of the concepts, and to also design assignments, innovative assignments for better understanding, for developing clear definitions, to highlight key takeaways as well. And diversity, so visual, out of the responses, 60% are visual and 40 are auditory. Okay, that's fine. So mostly we'll be, in fact, here we'll be doing it as a tactile and visual rather than the auditory. So the auditory part will be very less, and we'll be moving into this kinesthetic and visual aspects in the next 90 minutes of time. Okay, so thank you for your responses for the 5 faculty members who have contributed for the 4 questions that are available in the QR. Now, let us get into the topic. So I'm not going to discuss much about outcome-based education because there is enough amount of FTPs and lectures has been arranged all over the India about the OBE for the past decade or so. Okay. And I hope you're all very well aware of what is OBE and all. So, you know, everything needs to be aligned, right? So starting from the program outcomes to the course outcome. Okay, so the syllabus, the learning materials, what we use in our class, and the assessments that are aligned to the syllabus and learning materials. And finally, when both are aligned, automatically what happens is it contributes for the outcome attainments. So we need to focus on the alignment of the program outcomes with the syllabus and the learning materials and the type of assessments we use. Only then what happens is the outcome attainments will be positive, or it will attain the expected levels. So I'm not going to take much deeper dive into what is OBE. I'm going to navigate from here. And now the problem what we face is outcome attainment. So I hope we all agree with this, I guess. So we design a curriculum addressing the program outcomes, and then we also conduct assessments. But what happens is at the end of the day, after the assessment results are available, so when we go for the calculations and all, we see there is no proper attainment happen. It is the one problem that we all face, whether it is in our institution or your institution or anywhere. So now what we need to do in order to improve the outcome attainment? Because ultimately the learners, based on the learners only, we can able to calculate the outcome attainment, right? So the learners are going to decide what will be the attainment. So how do you approach learners or outcome attainment in your case? Can you share your views or examples? So I would like to hear from you what kind of approaches you adopt in your classroom practices in order to help the learners to get the or attain the outcomes or achieve the outcomes. I'd like to hear from 1 or 2 faculty members your experiences or your approaches that you use in your classrooms, or what kind of efforts you take in making the learners to understand the concepts, because that is the ultimate thing. Making them to understand the concepts is only going to decide the outcome attainments or PO attainments and all. And 1 or 2 faculties, could you please share your views or approaches or the ideas that you have? Anyone interested in sharing your views? Fine. Fine. I assume that you take great amount of efforts in helping the learners to achieve the learning outcomes or outcome time. So I have a couple of strategies which we use or I adopted used in our teaching process in order to help the learners to attain the outcomes. Yeah. So we need to move from teacher-centric to learner-centric. So what in majority of cases happens is the teacher goes to a class and talks for 15 minutes of time or 60 minutes of time. It's the entire period of the lesson period or class hours. So the teacher starts talking about the concept and they take great efforts in delivering the content. So by using PPTs or by using the Blackboard, and they also effectively try to help the learners. So, but all this comes under this teacher-centric approach. But the problem with the teacher-centric approach is it does not help the learners to understand the concepts in 100%. And if you see in every class, there will be around 50 to 60 participants or the learners sitting in the classroom. So it might not reach all the learners sitting inside the class. Maybe the front rows or the bright students might get to understand the concepts. But the slow learners or medium-phase learners, they might be struggling to understand the concepts. So in order to help them to understand, I mean, I'm talking about the inclusivity, so addressing every learner sitting inside the class. So we need to move from teacher-centric to learner-centric. So there's a huge amount of research that has happened to this teacher-centric to learner-centric approaches. So where you see the lecture hour contributes only for 5% of understanding of the concept. And the reading might go up to 10% and the audio and visual. So it reaches up to 20%. And any demonstrations we do, so it will help only in 30% of the understanding of the learners. So now all this contributes for the passive learning process. So we call this as passive. This is what we call as a teacher-centric. So where teacher takes the efforts, yeah, and all the hefty workload. So we take great amount of efforts in giving the lectures and giving the contents and giving the playing the audios and visual videos, anything that we feel is relevant to the concepts. And we also do some demonstrations in order to help the learners to understand. But if you see on the receiving end, you see, it is still considered as a passive learning process. Now, if you see the bottom one, there's discussions. So when we initiate discussions in the classroom, now that contributes for 50% of understanding or learning of the concepts. And when they start doing what they have learned, now this is the reason why the PBL, project-based learning, is all quite popular nowadays, because they practice a lot what they are theoretically learning. And once we start teaching, what happens is the understanding, the level of understanding is very, very high. So we call this as active learning. So if you see here, the lecture, reading, audio, and then demonstration, everything contributes around 30%. And we call this as a passive learning process. And the discussions, practice, and then teaching others, all is considered as an active learning process. So there is a terminology for this. So we call it as a acquisition model, which comes under the passive learning process, where the teacher takes the efforts in delivering the content. But all this active learning process is called as a participation model. So this is a proven theory in educational psychology. You know, if you see the acquisition model, participation model. So there are proven theories. So when acquisition model is predominantly taking place inside the class, now what happens is the learning is less. And when the participation model is happening inside the class, the learning is very high. So we need to move from the teacher-centric, that is from acquisition model to participation model, which we call it as a learner-centric. Now, how this can help us in attaining the learning outcomes is because when the participation model is implemented inside the class, now the learners are going to understand the concepts very well because they're going to participate in the learning process. And as a result, in the assessments, you will see a greater change. So all the learners, including the slow learners, which we call as big students as well. Okay, so they will better represent the assessments, and as a result, the outcomes will be improved. So we need to emphasize or focus on the participation model rather than the acquisition model. Now, because the lesson planning is very, very important in the outcome-based education. So now here's a question. do you plan your lessons before going to the class? If yes, can you share how? You can also post on chat. You can hesitate to speak. You can also post your views on chat as well. So do you plan your lessons? We have course delivery plan as part of NBA and all we use is course delivery plan, where for every unit, we're going to give the dates. And do we plan every lesson? For every period, do we have a lesson plan? Like how are we going to handle the 50 minutes or 60 minutes of time? So do we have a plan for 50 minutes of time? I assume that there it is 50 minutes of time for each class. What is the lecture hour? 15 minutes of lecture hour, a contact period. Blue. I think the admin has posted as well, yes, sir. But I would like to hear from others as well. As I mentioned earlier, this is not teacher centric. This is a learner centric. I wanted you to come and post your responses. So 30 minutes of teaching and 15 minutes discussion. Great. Minutes of teaching and 15 minutes of discussion. How about others? Well, I'm emphasizing on the learner centric and I don't want to keep the session as a teacher centric. Okay, so I assume that you all do a proper planning in delivering the lessons. So now, when it comes to OBE, so why lesson planning is important? So there are many advantages of preparing for a class. So normally what we do is we try to prepare the content that we wanted to deliver. That one effort we do, okay, like how are we going to deliver the content for 50 minutes of time and how much amount of content is required for delivering the, and we also go in line with the course delivery plan as well. So we know like what should be the topic that we are going to discuss the learners for today's class. Now, if you also, since we know the topic, if you can able to properly plan how are we going to sequence the activities that are going to happen inside the class. So now what happens is it will help us in a better way to deliver the contents and we know how it's going to progress and where we need to stop and where we need to highlight all that. Now we can able to plan effectively. So now I think someone has posted students can listen only 20 minutes and 10 minutes for discussion as well. We planned case studies. That is brilliant and great to know that you take only 20 minutes of class and remaining, I don't know, the whole time, but the 10 minutes for discussions as well as the case studies. So it is, I think 45 minutes of time, I guess, based on the previous post. But it's good to hear that almost less than 50% of the time now it's allocated only for a teacher-centric approach and more than that is allocated for a learner-centric approach. So that's a very good practice, in fact, which we all need to adopt in everyday classroom practices. Now, when it comes to lesson planning, so it has so many benefits and advantages when it comes to outcome-based education. So if you see, it aligns teaching with outcomes. So when we plan our lessons, we are going to be cautiously prepare our lesson. So it very well aligns with the outcomes. and it also ensures a coherent and structured delivery. So we know sequence coherently how the lesson is going to flow, and at what time we are going to stop our lecture part, and at what time we are going to initiate the discussions, and when are we going to give the assessments or quiz to the students. So it's a coherent and structured plan, and yes, it's going to promote active learning. So the active learning techniques are one of the pivotal points of the learner-centric approach, where the learners are going to involve themselves in the learning process. So this is one key element or a pivotal element every one of us needs to incorporate in our day-to-day teaching and learning process. And it will also integrate the formative assessments. So formative assessments are nothing but which are used for the learning process. So we're not going to grade. We're going to just check the understanding of the learners, then assessment. It could be a simple quiz that we do it in our class. We're not going to award any marks for that. So we are going to incorporate the formative assessments in the lesson plan, and we're also going to support the differentiation. So this is another big topic which can take an hour also to discuss about the differentiation. So I'll just give you a brief of differentiation. So differentiating the task or approach inside the class for advanced learners, medium-paced learners, and slow learners is what we call as a differentiation. So the same content. So how are we differentiating to help the learners, such as a slow learners or a medium-paced learners, to cope up with the fast learners or advanced learners? That is what differentiation. So the lesson plan will also support the differentiation. And one of the key important factors is it provides documentation for accreditation process. Yes, whenever NBA comes, they ask for documents, right? So this one piece of document will answer several questions. So if we can able to bring it to a practice, then this will be a very good piece of evidence which will impress the NBA persons, accreditators who are visits our university and now. And obviously, it's going to enhance the teaching effectiveness. And finally, it enables reflection and overall improvement. So as a result, what happens is the overall outcome attainment also will be high. The learner satisfaction also will be very high. And your reflection and your satisfaction also will be very high. Now, what is a coherent lesson plan? So when I talk about a lesson plan, so what should it contain? So a lesson plan will have a clear introduction. So where it talks about what are we going to learn today. So this is going to set the stage, and it also activates the prior knowledge. So when we say what are we going to learn today, before the class starts, when we share the learning outcomes, we call it as a session learning outcome for each session. Now, I think you're all very familiar with the program outcomes and course outcomes, PO and CO. And the course outcomes are also shared with the students at the start of the semester itself. Before the course starts, we are going to share it, right? Likewise, if we can able to share the session learning outcome as well with the learners at the start of the session. Now, what happens is it's going to create the knowledge what they have. Means it's going to create the curiosity among the learners, and it will also help in recalling their previous knowledge about the topic that is going to be discussed. So this will help in better understanding of the concepts. So it activates the prayer knowledge, so which we call it as a beginning part. And the second is the developmental part, so where you talk about the content that you're going to deliver. And then what happens is from there, you're going to incorporate the active learning strategies to support the learnings that have been discussed. And then finally comes the conclusion part. So where you're going to conclude, you're going to consolidate the overall learning that has happened in the 15 minutes of time or 40 minutes of time, and also quickly run a assessment, and then conclude the session. So this is the end. So a clear beginning, middle, and a conclusion part. So this is what a coherent lesson plan is all about. Now, so how to plan coherent lesson plans? So this is the topic which we need to know. And now, since every day we are going to meet the learners for 45 minutes or 50 minutes of time, so we need to plan our lessons. So this is going to help in a greater extent in the coming days. So how to plan coherent lesson plans? So this is where we are going to use the generative AIs. So now you might be wondering why I'm talking all this lesson plans and OBE, all that, because there is a connect between, means I can't straight away go into the AI part. Okay, so we need to have some strong background, right? So why are we doing that? And in a structured way, we need to perform this use of AI in the teaching learning process. So we need to know what's a coherent lesson plan. So a coherent lesson plan will have a clear beginning, introduction, middle part, and then the conclusion is the end part. So now for an introduction and a middle part and end part, we are going to use the generative AIs in order to make a coherent lesson plan and also which is aligned to the outcomes. So how to prepare a coherent lesson plan and content related to the lesson plan. So this is where the AIs are going to help us in a greater extent. So now let us use AI and explore AI tools so which are going to assist us in developing the contents that are aligned to the outcomes. So now we are going to have mostly from now on, we are going to have a hands-on practice kind of. So where I'll be demonstrating a few techniques and I also request the participants to also simultaneously follow this method so that you can explore and see how useful the AI tools or generative AIs in developing a meaningful content that are aligned to the outcomes. So now I request the participants to keep your laptops or have an access to a laptop or computer so that whatever we discuss now, you also simultaneously practice along with me and see the meaningful content delivery or content development with the help of AI tools. Okay. So shall we proceed? I'd like to get the consent from you all. Because now on, no, it will be tactile or a kinesthetic part. So where you'll also be simultaneously working with me to develop the contents for your topics that you are going to teach to your students. I'm not going to tell you how to, is for my topic, what I'm going to do. So, and you're not going to work for the topic which I'm going to do. So you're going to select your own topic and then you're going to prepare the contents. So shall we do it? Any quick responses from you? Okay. So now I request you to open the AI tools that you are familiar with. Since initially I asked you, right, to use AI. Yes, you said, few of you said yes. And those who have said yes, they also mentioned that they use ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity. So can you use the AI tools or can you open up the AI tools that you use regularly to work on developing the contents? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 3 AI tools here. I'm not going to use one. Okay. I'm going to use three, in fact, 4 AI tools. One is DeepSeek, and the second one is Gemini, and the third one is Claude. And the fourth one is Claude. Fourth one is Grok. So there are many AI tools. So most of us are very familiar with the ChatGPT and Gemini. Of course, it comes with the Google or Gmail account, and of course, Perplexity as well. But there is another tool that is DeepSeek, so you can also explore the DeepSeek, so which is free and we do not have restrictions like ChatGPT, where after some searches, now it asks for upgrade to Pro, right? So we don't have that problems here. Okay. So go to so we have Gemini, and I'm also going to use Claude and Grok. I'll also post the links on chat so that if you can also explore. Grok and God. And DeepSeek. And of course, Gemini, you're all familiar with, so I don't want to emphasize about that. So please use any AI tools. I'm not recommending any. So you can use any AI tools, but do not rely on one AI tool. That is my suggestion. Do not rely on only one AI tool, because the tools are going to fetch information from various sources, and that might be correct or that might not be correct as well. So please do not rely on only one AI tool. Please use 2 or more AI tools simultaneously to prepare your content. So what we are going to do now is we're going to give the same question to 3 or 4 AI tools and see which AI tool is generating the best response. And that response we are going to pick and use it for our teaching and learning process. Okay. Now, firstly, what we're going to do is session learning outcomes. So firstly, we need to decide the outcomes for every session. So this is very, very important, because we know course outcomes. So we have a course outcome for unit 1, and unit 1 contains several topics, right? And it might be for 9 hours of teaching or 12 hours of teaching. Okay? So every session, there will be some outcome, because we are going to deliver some amount of content to the learners. So there'll be an outcome. So for every session, we need to fix an outcome, and we need to plan the lesson in order to achieve that particular outcome. Okay? So without having a goal, we cannot reach the destination, right? So we need to have a destination, we need to have a goal, right? So likewise, we need to have outcome for every session that we are going to deal with the learners, okay, whether it is a 60 minutes or 50 minutes of time. So now what we're going to do is select a topic or content that you wish to teach to your learners for 50 minutes of time or 45 minutes of time, whatever it is. For example, I have this split as 60 minutes of time here. Okay. So select a topic or content that you wish to teach for your students. So of your choice, because already you know the syllabus or the subject that you are dealing. So select a topic that you wanted to discuss with your learners for one period. It could be 15 minutes or 45 minutes or 60 minutes, whatever it is. Okay. And also select the Bloom's level of the topic. So the topic which you're going to learn, so select the Bloom's level, because this is also important task as part of this outcome-based education. So select the Bloom's level of the topic. And to write the session learning outcomes, we need to use the SMART approach. So SMART is nothing but it's an expansion of SMART can be expanded as a specific, measurable, achievable or attainable, relevant or realistic, and time-bound. So the outcomes now should follow this SMART framing network. So S stands for a specific, and M stands for a measurable, and A stands for achievable or attainable, and R stands for relevant or realistic, and T is time-bound. So the outcomes, whether it is a course outcome or a session learning outcome, it should follow this SMART approach. And if you see, all the outcomes are framed based on this approach only. And now, since we are going to develop the learning outcomes for a particular session, so we need to adopt this SMART approach. Yeah. So now, once you select a topic or content, okay, for example, say we are going to teach a topic to the students, and we have some standard reference books or textbooks. So where we are going to pick the content and we are going to deliver to the students, right? So a majority, if you see, this is what the methodology we follow. So we refer some textbooks or reference books and extract the content, and then we prepare PPTs or on the Blackboard. So we start delivering the content. So the contents are not prepared by us. In fact, the contents are readily available in the open sources or in the library or anywhere. So the contents are available, and we're going to extract the content from the standard reference books or textbooks, and then we are going to deliver. So this is the procedure, right? So what we follow. Okay. So what we are going to do now is select a content of your choice. So I hope you also simultaneously follow with me, so that you will navigate and see how we can able to prepare a meaningful content with the help of AI tools, starting from the outcomes to the assessments. between the PPTs and the activities as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomly pick some topic from internet. I'm not going to use the topics or the subjects that I deal with, because I'm going to randomly pick some topics. And if you can able to suggest any topic now, I can just browse here and select some topics if you wish you wanted to work along with me. Or else I'll choose a topic from of my interest, not my interest. Basically a science faculty. Okay, so what I'll do is okay, data structures or data science. Okay, let's take data structures. Okay, so introduction to data structures and algorithms. So there is some amount of content that is available in the internet resource. So what I'm going to do now is let me open a Word document. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the content. This is randomly, I'm just picking it from internet, and you can. If you have any standard reference books or textbooks, okay, you can copy the content. Or if you have PPT prepared by you can also copy that as well, which you are going to use it for 50 minutes of a classroom delivery. And just randomly picking some content from internet. Just delete this pictures, which will not be using it here. So what I have done is I have copy pasted some amount of content for data structures. Yeah. So similarly, you can also select some amount of content that you want to teach to your students, or you regularly do it, right? So you can select the content, whether it is in the form of a PPT or you have some typed content, or you can copy paste it from many reference books or textbooks that you use for your classroom teaching. So select the content. So what I have done is I have selected some amount of content here. So I just copy the entire content here. And now I'm going to make use of the AI tools. So let me use one by one each AI tool. So what I'm going to give this, I'm going to give the lesson content. I'm going to give the right class lesson content and paste the entire content below the lesson content. So what I have done is I have just typed as lesson content here, and I have copy pasted the entire content that I have copied from an internet resource. So what you can do is you can type it as a lesson content, and you can copy paste your own content that you wish to teach for your students. So the content could be, as I mentioned, extracted from a standard reference books or textbooks, or your PPTs or any typed materials that you wish to. So now what I have done is I have just copy pasted the content in an AI tool. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a prompt. This is the one which is going to actually do the work, okay, the prompt. So now we are going to write an outcome. Firstly, we are going to write an outcome. So we are going to write one rational and one outcome. That is a session learning rational and session learning outcome. The session learning rational is the purpose of learning. So why they have to learn this topic. So when we go to class now, firstly, we need to tell them why they have to learn the data. For example, here, since we have selected data structures, so we have to tell them why they have to learn the data structures. The rationale has to be discussed with the learners. So this will set the platform. So they will know, okay, this is the reason why I'm going to learn this topic. And then we have outcome, so which can be measured at the end of the class. Okay. So we need to have rational and we need to have outcome, purpose of learning and what they have learned. Okay, so why and what this rational outcome is all about. So I'm going to give a prompt. So you are an expert in instructional design and subject matter expert in. I have not filmed this because this is for a demo purpose. I don't know which topic I'm going to pick from the internet. So that's a purposefully I have left it back. Yeah. So now I'm going to first give this. You are an expert in instructional design. So since the outcome framing, so all this comes under this instructional design of course designers. So I'm just narrowing down AI to search in the instructional design. And I'm also asking the AI to be a subject matter expert in the topic, which topic. So since we purposely put it as a blank here, okay, later on I'll just fill it. Okay. And I'm narrowing it down as a subject matter expert and instructional design. Now I'm asking to write one session learning rational and outcome for the above lesson content. So already we have pasted lesson content, right? So now for that content, I'm asking to write the outcome. Lesson, there is a session learning rational and outcome, one rational, one outcome. Now I'm giving some set of conditions here. Okay. Statement in 1 or 2 lines, not more than 25 words. Sometimes what happens is this will give a very lengthy, since the topic is very complex, no, it will give a very lengthy statement sometimes. So I don't want that. So I want a very simple statement. So I'm asking to write 1 or 2 lines of learning rational and outcomes for not more than 25 words. And I'm also asking, giving condition like the Bloom's levels apply. So the outcome should have a keyword apply. So we know like the action verbs. So we need to have some action verbs, right, for outcomes and all. So here I'm setting it as the Bloom's levels apply. So now depending upon your content Bloom's level, no, you can fix whether it is apply or understand or humor or evaluate or analyze or create whatever it is. Okay. And consider smart approach. So the outcomes needs to be framed based on the smart approach. And I'm also, since the T stands for time bound, so I need to mention the time, whether it is 60 minutes or 45 minutes or 15 minutes. Now let us paste, copy and paste this. I'm also pasting this content in the chat box as well for your convenience. Because you can also copy this and you can use it straight away. You don't need to type, so you can just use this, copy the content and you can use it there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill this blank part. So you're an subject matter expert in data structures. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just copying the entire thing. So now you can fill the blank part. So you can fill or you can give your own topic as a subject matter expert in what are the content that you have selected. Okay. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to paste it here. Lesson content is available. Now I have copy pasted that you are an expert in section design. So write one session learning rational and outcome. And I have also given the conditions or criteria for writing the papers. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select and copy because I'm going to simultaneously post the same in the other AI tools as well. And let's see how the tools are going to create the session learning rational and outcomes. Now, if you want to think deeply, this particular tool, you can select this deep think. So it will take some time, analyze, and then I give response. If you want something shallow or quickly, you can deselect this, okay? Or you can unselect this. Now I have selected and let us run this. And similarly, I'm also going to use the other AI tools as well. So I have copy pasted the same content in the other AI tool, whereas I'm also using a Gemini. And let us use the other tools as well. And I'm using 4 different tools here. Even in Grok also, you can see there is an option called as deep search. If you want the tool to go deep in search, you can use this option deep search. Run this. Now you can see the first tool, that is DeepSeek, which I have used, has written one session learning rational and outcome. You can see the rational, the purpose of us to establish the foundational interdependence of data structures and algorithms, demonstrating how their combined use solves real-world problems efficiently. Okay, now you can see the outcomes. So by the end of this 60 minutes of session, since I said it's a smart and a 60 minutes of time, so now the statement is by the end of this 60 minutes of session, learners will be able to select and justify. So the Bloom's taxonomy, we have given it as apply, right? So based on that, it has picked some relevant action verbs. Justify an appropriate data structure, example family tree, and a corresponding algorithm, because whatever the content, based on the content, no, it has reduced this. For given scenario, applying the core DSA concepts from the lesson to new or single problem. So this is the learning outcome for one single session. Now, similarly, let us see what the other tools have generated. So here you can see learning rational outcome. This is by Gemini. This 60-minute session will equip learners to apply the core concepts of data structures and algorithms. And let us see what Claude has given. Now we can see learning rational, understanding how data structures and algorithms work. And similarly, by end of this 60-minute session, learners will apply appropriate data structures to a given problem. Rational outcome. So you can see it was also given justification, alignment with the criteria. Words, 25 words, Bloom's level, and the smart elements also incorporated. Now let's see what the other tool has given, the fourth tool. Here you can see it has given two responses as well, response A and response B. Now you can see which one is suitable to you and you can select. So now you can see we have not used one tool here. We have used 4 different tools, and 4 different tools has its own way of generating the content. And of course, everything will be aligned. The choice of words will be different and the style will be different. Now, as a subject matter expert, read all the 4 statements and then select which is the best statement that is suitable for the content that is you have given or you have selected for the classroom delivery part. Because these are all the tools, or we can call it as assistants. Okay. So end of the day, we are the one who are going to deliver the content. So we need to proofread it. So the tools will generate the content, but we need to proofread it and then finally verify whether the produced content is appropriate or not. So we cannot blindly rely on the AI tools. So we need to proofread it, read it, and then select which is the best statement, and then use it for your classroom practices. So one simple analogy is these are all like robots which can cook, but they cannot taste. Only we can able to taste and see whether we need to add salt or spices or whatever it is. Okay, so these are all robots which can cook, but they cannot taste. So only we can able to taste, right? Likewise, these are all the agents which generate the learning outcomes, but they cannot teach. Only we are going to teach to the learners. So we need to verify whether these statements are correct or not. So do not 100% rely or blindly copy paste the content. So they are going to generate it and minimize our workload. But we need to spend some moment of time in reading and verifying whether the outcomes are appropriate or not. So now what we have done is we have given the content that we are going to deliver, and then we have asked to write the learning outcomes. Now different tools have generated a different learning outcomes. Now we need to select which is the best learning outcome. Okay, now I hope you're also simultaneously doing this, I guess. Now you would have seen the content that you have posted. So you would have given the rational learning outcomes. Okay, now we are done with the learning outcomes. So now what we are going to do is now preparing presentations for the content. So already few of you have said that you use AI for preparing your content. Yeah. So I do not know what approach you follow for preparing the content. So here is a strategy for preparing the presentations for the content. So what I'm going to do is now I have prepared, means I have selected some content, right? The lesson content. Now for that lesson content, I have prepared the outcomes. Okay, the session learning outcomes and rational has been selected or generated by this AI tools. Now for the same content, I'm going to prepare the presentation. Now what happens is the learning rational outcomes and the presentation will be aligned. So we're not going to deviate. So it's not that the learning outcomes are something different and the PPTs are something different. So now everything is aligned. Yeah. So now for that, I'm going to give an additional prompt here. So what I'm going to do is I have given a prompt here. So you are an expert in preparing PPT for educational content. So why I give this is I am prompting the AI to restrict towards the preparation of PPTs for educational content. Yeah. I'm narrowing it down. So it's going to narrow down its search and then it's going to prepare. So it's going, we know, right? I would have seen the Robo movie. Okay. TV podo means what we'll do with the robo, will pick the TV and put it on the floor, right? So the command has to be very clear. Yeah. Or else what happens is it will understand in its own way and then it will give the responses which we don't expect. Yeah. So we need to give the appropriate prompts or commands. So what I'm doing here is I'm expecting it as an expert to be in preparing PPTs for education content. And I am giving some set of conditions here. Prepare a presentation for the above lesson content already we have pasted there and adhere to the below criteria. So I want 10 slides. If you want to know, you can give more amount of numbers. Okay. Use bullet points, include relevant case studies as examples. Use relevant images or pictures if available. If the tool incorporates the images, can incorporate. Okay. And include the session learning rational and outcome framed above in the first slide. So in every slide, whenever we discuss with the learners, the first slide, we need to incorporate or put the learning outcomes. So what the learners are going to learn and what should be the outcome is what they are supposed to achieve end of the 15 minutes or 60 minutes of time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste this prompt. And I'm also simultaneously posting it in the chat as well. I'm just copy pasting the same prompt in all the 4 tools. So I have mentioned as the lesson above lesson content. Already we have given lesson content here. So now below that, we are going to give the same prompt. So it is going to create the structure. Sometimes this might not give the, means a DeepSeek doesn't prepare straight away PPTs and download. I'll give it. Yeah, but it will give a structure for preparing PPTs, which we can copy and put it in our slides. Yeah, that is one. And okay, I have copy pasted the content and just running it. Some might say yes, some might say I'm not able to do it. I'm just copy pasting the same in all the, let us select something. Now you can see here, the tools are preparing slides for me. Okay. Title slide. Now you can see foundations of data structure. It has given a title and subtitle, and you can also see the rational, so which has been generated previously. The rational is available and the outcomes also available. Image, a conceptual image showing data points. So this is not going to give a PPT. Okay, so it's just giving a hint like what kind of images we can put in, and what is the data structure. Okay, so it gives explanations, and you can include this image, a simple clear family tree diagram with names and connections. And why are the data structures important? Now I asked to put 10 slides, right? I can see it has given 10 slides content. Okay. For the lesson content that I have already given, so it will not deviate. Now the content that will be present in the PPT and the learning outcomes will be aligned. So there will not be any deviation that will be happening. Okay. The PPT content is relevant to the lesson content which we have copy pasted. Okay. Because it is extracted from that and that's prepared PPT content here. Similarly, we can see in Google, Gemini also has prepared session title. You can see the session title and learning rational outcomes also available. And the second slide, you can see what is the data structures. You can see 10 slides. And how about the other? Yeah, Claude, you can see it has prepared a PPT for us. It has prepared a PPT. So it has given some case studies, it has given some analogy. Analogy is also given there. And you can see case studies are also given there. So 10 slides, prerequisites. So now we are ready to deliver the topic, right? Yeah. So now the PPT is available with the help of the Claude. Now we have prepared a PPT. So since I have given 10 slides, as a condition or criteria, so it has prepared the 10 slides. If you want to restrict to lesser than 10, you can give your own numbers. If you want more, okay, then you can give the numbers depending on that. So based on the content what I have given, all these slides have been prepared. Now let's see what about the doc says. Okay, so it has not prepared a PPT. It has given a template or structure. Okay, so which we can copy paste it in our slides. So this is one way of generating the content that are aligned to the outcomes. Since we are discussing about OBE, so everything needs to be aligned, right? So the session learning outcomes and the PPT are aligned to the content that we are going to deliver or which we wish to deliver to the participants. Okay. So now we have prepared, means the PPTs are, the contents are ready. And of course, the Claude has given the PPT template itself. Now we do have some PPT generating tools. For example, this one is here, Gamma. I'll post this. I think many of you will be familiar with this tool, I guess. Gamma. So which is a AI tool for PPT preparations and all. If you already have an existing PPT, you can upload it. So it will revise the PPT and beautify it and then give it to you. Or else if you have content, you can give the content and it will prepare the PPT for you. So uh, this is one useful AI tool which you can use. And also we have another AI tool that is InSpark AI. But this is not a free versions are not available in this. So after you pay the content, no, it will ask for a payment or it will ask to upgrade. So you can use this Gamma.ai. So now let's see what Gamma says for us. I'll just close the other tabs. Gamma AI. Login. So you can use your Gmail account to log into this tool. So I have logged in. And if you want, you can create with the AI. Or what I'll do is, since I have my own content, so I would like to prepare a PPT from my own content. Because I don't want the AI that is available in Gamma to prepare the content. Because if you use the topic option, now what happens is it will prepare content from different sources. So it will not be aligned with what we expect. Okay, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to use my own content for preparing the PPTs. So a blank, I'll just select the blank presentation and you can give the title. So I pasted the content. I'm just giving a prompt for a PPT for the above content. Or else you can copy the same prompt that we have used and we can leave it here so that it will also structure its contents. So it's asking for some approaches which we would like to use. So we have options of changing the icons. And you can, if you have your own PPTs here, no, so you can upload it and then it will also redefine, work on the PPTs and then it will provide you the PPTs as well. So you can give the appropriate prompts and ask to prepare a PPT so that it will take some time, in fact, to prepare the PPTs and all. And then include the relevant images, pictures which are relevant. So it will pick from the internet resources and then it will give you a very beautiful PPT or interactive PPT. So this is one AI tool which you can able to, which you can explore in preparing the PPTs as well. And another is GenSpark.ai, and we also have a Slido Pitch. There are several tools. You just a Google search now will help you to fetch many tools, AI tools, which helps in preparing the PPTs and all. Okay. So now we have approached two methods. So one is asking the AI to give a structure for preparing a PPT for the content. So we have explored 4 different tools. So what they have done is they have prepared, and in one tool now you can see it has also given the PPT as well. So which we can directly use it if you wish. If it looks good, you can use it. Okay. And if not this, then we also have tools which actually helps in preparing the PPT straight away. It gives the PPTs. Okay, so that is Gamma. So you can also explore that as well. Now we have seen preparing the learning outcomes and preparing the presentations with the AI tools which are aligned. Now we have tools to prepare videos as well. So preparing videos for contents. Now we cannot pick some internet resources for videos and all because the content what we are going to deliver and that might not align. There could be some advanced or some could be at a basic level or some could be at advanced level, which will not exactly fit into the contents that we actually discuss with our learners. So what we need to do is we need to prepare our own videos in order to showcase in our class or play in our class. So there are a couple of tools which are helpful in preparing videos as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use one tool for creating videos for the content which we are going to use. So what we are going to do is we're going to use My Simple Show. There is one tool which creates videos for education contents and all. My Simple Show. So this is one tool which creates videos for the content that we are going to discuss with our learners. I posted the link in chat box as well. So you can click on that link and you can explore. And I also demonstrate you how to prepare videos as well, a quick demonstration. So once you log in, now what happens is you'll see create a new video. So I'll name this project as DSA. And now you can see the options available. Let AI write your story. So if you click that, you can give the prompt and it will create the content and then it will create the video. So I don't want this because I have my own content. Because I have already copy pasted the content and I have prepared the learning outcomes and I have prepared the PowerPoint presentations as well. So now I want video to be aligned with that content, right? So what I'll do is I'll go with this option, write your own script. Now there'll be a demo video. Let us close this. Now let us pick the blank template. I have selected the blank template. So now you can see title screen. So here you can give the title So what is the title? So, okay, let us put it as a data structure. Now, your story. So this is where we are going to copy paste our original, our content that we have used for preparing the content. So let us, I'll just select a few because there is a character restriction that is available here. You can see 360, sorry, 3650. For title, it is for around 450 it comes. And for story, it's around 3650. Let us copy paste it and see. Okay, so almost I have used it. And the end screen. So you can give it as a thank you, how you wish to end the video. And if you want, you can also post some prompt questions for the learners to think about that. So I'm just copy pasting the content that which I have used for preparing the PPTs. Okay, now click on this visualize. So you can click this simple show classic. And I don't want this AI avatar video, so I want animated illustration video. Select that. So now what's going to happen is a video will be created for the content that we are going to use it in our class. So the video will not be deviated from the content that which we have used in the PPT. So it will be very much aligned. So everything will be in a aligned state. It will pick relevant images from internet and then it will use. So now if you see the video is ready. Now you can see here there is an option called as a play video. So click this, it will automatically prepare the video. You can see everything will be in the form of slides. The form of slides on the PPT has been prepared. And the slides will contain the images, relevant images, and explanations will happen. Yeah. So now you can see the video is ready. So there will be the explanation. Since I'm using a different device now, I'm not able to play it here. The audio is not available. But the audio will also be available here. For the content which we have used, now you can see data structures, the pattern. If you are working simultaneously with me, no, you can use your own content in this my simple show and I'll explore how it is going to create a video for your own content. Now you will understand how useful this tool is. You pick the relevant images and then it will create a very interactive video. You can see this is 4 minutes, 19 seconds a video.
This data structure provides to determine how the individuals are related. Data structures.
Whether you're able to hear the audio, have enabled from
Data structures are essential ingredients in creating fast, powerful algorithms. They help the data reduce complexity and increase efficiency. An algorithm is a set of steps by
So this is one tool which creates useful videos. Now, if you further now after this, at the bottom you have a finish option available. You can finalize this. So once you finalize this, then you can download this. But sometimes what happens is it will ask for Pro version upgrade to not to download the video. Or else if you have a snipping tool, we can record the video and store it in your drives, local drives. So majority of Microsoft devices has snipping tools available, inbuilt snipping tools are available. So you can use the snipping tools to record the video and then you can use it in your classrooms or you can share it with your students for explanation. So this video will not be available anywhere in the internet because this is prepared for you by AI tools. So you can authentically give this or share this video and you can say this is prepared by you. Of course, the tools logo will be available. If you wish to remove the logo, then it will ask for a upgrade the pro versions. And once you go to pro versions, there are lots of options are available. Now you can also see voices. So which voice you want. So there are options also available for voices. You can see some standard voices are freely available. And if you want some specific voices, you can use here premium voices. You can see specific voices, Indian versions. We have Aditi, Lavina, Kajal, all Indian voices. Okay, if you wish Indian. So this is one tool which you can use for creating your videos as well. So now if you see what we have done is we have created a learning outcome. We have prepared PPTs and we have prepared videos for one single content. Now, what we are going to do is the next item in the lesson plan is learning activities. So this is one, as I mentioned earlier, this is the one which actually plays a pivotal role in the learning process. So more amount of time has to be allocated to the active learning techniques. So for a class of 45 minutes or 50 minutes, so where we teach only for 15 or 20 minutes, and remaining amount of time needs to be allocated for the active learning. For say whether it is 20 minutes or 30 minutes, needs to be allocated for the active learning. So where the students or the learners will be involved in the group discussions or case study solving or problem solving or any other activities relevant to that particular content. Okay. So now what we are going to do is for designing the learning activities, we don't need to worry because we have generative AI, right? So which can help us in developing the learning activities. So now we can see what I'm going to do is I have prompt here. So you are an expert in designing active learning techniques. And I'm also giving some set of instructions like designing active learning techniques for the above lesson content and that are aligned with the outcomes and PPT, because already we have prepared the outcomes and PPT, and consider the below conditions. Design individual and group activities. Okay, now you need to decide whether you are going to use a individual activity or group activity. Now accordingly, you can give design individual activities, it will give individual activities. If it's a group, it will give group activities. And the number of learners in your class can give numbers. So accordingly, it will design which will be the best learning activity. And time for activity. So we need to mention how much time, whether it is for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Accordingly, it will pick the activity. Or else sometimes it will pick an activity which might run for several hours, which might not be possible to implement in our classrooms, right? So we need to give the amount of time and avoid activities using extensive materials usage, because that is one of the problem that we have. So we cannot use many paper and pens or materials inside the classroom, right? So I'm also giving a caution like avoid activities which can use extensive materials usage. So now let us post this in the AI tools. Now I'm also sharing the same with you on the chat so that you can also copy and use it. Now we are done with this video. Yes. Okay. So now in the DeepSeek, I'm copy pasting the same prompt below the PPT that already we have prepared. Now it will prepare the activities, and similarly, I'm also using the other AI tools as well for this, Gemini and Claude and Grok. You can see here, it is preparing many activities. So I asked for activities, so it's giving many. If you ask for one, it will give one activity at last. But many, it will give accordingly, it will give many activities as well. So now you can see how each AI tool is helping in designing the activities that we can use it in our classroom practices. You can see in case of DeepSeek, a family tree analysis. So now if you see, this is highly relevant to the content that we are actually discussing with our learners, right? So family tree activity. So you can see individual analysis and parenting. So it is think per share, time is 12 minutes. And activity 2, DSA match maker, small groups. It's a group activity. It is also given 13 minutes. A scenario-based problem. So group of 4 to 5 in each group. So you can see scenarios are also given, 3 scenarios, group task, and gallery. Activity 3, algorithm theater. what are the materials that are required? No extensive materials needed, only paper pens and numbered cards. So it is also given how to implement this aspect. Now you can see learning outcome check alignment. So each activity requires learners to select and justify DSA combination. So how this activity is aligned to the learning outcomes also mentioned here. So now we can see, right, everything is aligned. So with the help of AI tools, we are creating a intelligent and a meaningful content which are aligned to the outcomes. So this is one. And in case of sorry, Gemini, I have not run. So here you can see in case of Claude, it has given a overview of activities. So activity one data structure, detective, something that is different from the DeepSeek, algorithm assembly line, lightning round. So 3 activities is given. Key features are also given. Now let's see what Grok has given. Activity structure for 50 learners. No extensive materials, only paper, pen, and or phone notes. So activity 0 to 3 minutes, quick individual warm-up activity, and 10 real-world case studies are given. So we can see so many options are available for us. Each one, if you see, it's all different activities for the same content. It's not giving the same activity, right? We have so many choices here. Now let's see what Gemini has given. Think pair share. So this is aligned with the earlier DeepSeek group activity algorithm matching challenge. So now we can see some set of instructions also given what needs to be done. How to implement the activities also mentioned here. So this will be very much helpful in implementing the activity. Now we have set of guidelines or supporting documents. So how to implement this activity in the class and what is expected. So now we can see for one prompt, for one lesson content, we have different activities in hand. Of course, the data, DeepSeek and the Gemini are almost same, giving same type of activity. But Claude and Grok has given something different activities. Now, if you see, we have many activities in our hands for one single topic. So now, as subject matter expert, now you can decide which activity you can use in your class. You know your classroom dynamics and how many learners and how learners will engage. So based on that, you can pick which activity will be very helpful for implementation in your class, which is going to support in the learning process. So this is one. And if you're not going to use this, now we also have a tool that is a Monsha. I'll just post this link as well. So this is Monsha is a tool designed for teachers, where you can prepare the lesson plans, where you can prepare the PPTs, where you can prepare the worksheets. So for your classroom practices, you can prepare the worksheets as well. So all this could be done in Monsha. So I'm not going to discuss about Monsha due to want of time. I'm not going to Monsha as well now, as of now. And you can, I have shared the link on chat, so you can you can click on the link and explore at your free time how this Monsha is going to assist you in developing intelligent content. So this is one tool which has multiple options. So it can create lesson plan, it can create worksheets, it can create assessments, and it also prepares a PPT. It also prepares a learning materials. It also has an AI feature as well. So you can give a prompt and then ask to prepare the task, or else you can give your own content and ask to prepare some set of activities which you decide. So this is one for learning activities. Now we have explored how the AI tools are going to help us in developing the learning activities. Now, the next part is designing formative assessments for the content. Now, this is very, very important. So in any classroom practice, so it is not just delivering the content alone is important. We need to check whether the students have understood the concept. Normally, we do this by questioning. So at the end of the class, now we ask, have you understood the concept? How many of you understood the concept? Raise your hands. So these are all some simple techniques which we use. And this is all traditionally followed or copied from our teachers or from our seniors or experienced colleagues. Now we need to have some structured formative assessments, okay, so which can help us in figuring out whether the learners have understood the concept or not. Okay. So for that, we can use some quiz, or we can use some digital tools. So there are several ICT tools which can help us in doing this process. So now we need to design formative assessment for the lesson content which we have discussed or delivered. So what I'm going to do is, again, we have a prompt. So here you can see you are a subject matter expert in So we need to fill what subject title we have given. So I will just type data structures here. And I'm asking and exporting design format assessments. I'm narrowing down the search to the data structures, and based on the data concept, design format assessments. So frame format assessments for the above lesson content in terms of the below conditions. So how many questions I need? I need 10. Okay, you can decide how many. To avoid redundancy. And I use MCQ, different types of questions. I'm giving different types like MCQ, true or false, fill in the blank, matching, and multiple response. And the last one is a question should align with the outcomes and Bloom's level. This is very, very important because the question should not deviate from the lesson content. It has to be in line with the lesson content. Right? So I am using this. So let me post the same in chat as well. So we'll have access to this. So I have just posted it a blank one, so you can fill it. And now what we are going to do is so the activities are designed right. Now below this activities, I'm copy pasting this as well. All the 4 AI tools, I'm asking to prepare a formative assessments. So now you can see the Grok has developed a formative assessment. This is, if you see all the questions and responses now will be very much aligned with the lesson content that we are going to discuss. So everything is aligned, so there is no deviation. So what we have taught in the class now, only based on that, we are going to test the knowledge of the learners. So one MCQ, true or false, multiple response, fill the blanks, matching activity, and again MCQ, true or false. You can see here apply. Questions are in apply level, and you can also see higher order thinking. Now, how it has picked the apply level because I said it should be aligned with the outcomes and PPT, right, for the lesson content. Now, there, if you see, initially we have mentioned the session learning outcome as a Bloom's level as apply. Now, accordingly, it has picked because everything's happening in one single search. Okay. So what happens is based on the history, it is picking up the content. So since we need to test at the apply level, so it has prepared questions at the apply level because I have not mentioned apply there. And about this, you can see in throughout also you can see multiple choice apply. So all the questions are in apply level that are very much relevant and appropriate to the content what we have discussed. And how about this in Gemini? We can see there are some set of questions that has been framed, and similarly DeepSeek. It has also given the answer as well. So you can see even the DeepSeek has also prepared questions. Bloom's is also mentioned here at apply level. So all the formative assessment questions are at the apply level. So this is very much aligned. So now you can see how the contents are meaningfully developed for one single content. So the lesson plan now, if we see the lesson plan will be very, very effective and highly interactive, and the learners also will enjoy if this is perfectly followed in a classroom. So now we have seen how the formative assessments can be developed with the help of tools, right? Now the last is the exit ticket, planning exit ticket for the lesson. So after this, normally what happens is the exit ticket, we say how many of you have understood, raise your hands. People will raise their hands. And based on that, if many students raise their hands, we say, okay, they have understood. But there will be some learners who would have not understood and they would have not raised their hand. Sometimes, they would have not understood the concept, but still they wanted to finish up the class. So they raise their hands, right? So this also happens in the class. So we need to prepare an exit ticket for the lesson. So this is one which gives an immediate feedback about what happened in the class, whether it went well or the learners understand the concept or not. So now one simple way is like thumbs up, thumbs down. So this is all one simple way, and raise your hands down. All simple technique. So we can also frame some structured lesson exit tickets for the lesson. So here, what I'm going to do is again, I'm going to use the AI tool for the exit tickets. Now, the exit ticket should be aligned with the lesson content what we have prepared. So it cannot deviate from that, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste the same prompt. I'm also posting it on the chat as well. And going to give the same prompt in all the four tools, and let's see what kind of exit tickets they actually generate. So you can see exit tickets in DeepSeek. It says a self-assessment of today's code. So based on today's lesson, how confident are you in choosing a data structure algorithm for single problem, circle one, or 1 minute application? Design notes for instructor. So how to design this? No, when set of instructions are also given here. And what about this exit ticket DSA foundation checks? Gemini has given something different. And Claude has given something very in detailed exit tickets. If you wish, no, you can take it. You can take a print out and you can share with your learners. So this is all the lesson plan. How it's going to help us because you're going to be pre-prepared. So whatever required for the classroom, you're going to make it ready and then use it in your class. So on spot, you're not going to do it. So we have a structured plan based on that. You're going to do it. And Grok has also developed some exit ticket strategies. Now we can see we have many exit ticket strategies in our hands since we have used the same prompt in 4 different tools, and each tool has generated different types of exit tickets. So now you will see the real usefulness of generative AI in teaching and learning. So how it can assist the teachers or faculty in day-to-day classroom practices. Yeah. So now what we have seen is only developing content for one lesson. Because if you apply the same structure for the entire unit 1 or any unit, now you have a full amount of content for full unit. Now repeat the same procedure for all the units, 5 units. Now you have a meaningful content or lesson plans for all the 5 units of a single course. Now take this document and implement it in your class, and then collect the evidences and produce it to any NBA team. Now what happens is they'll be highly impressed and you will expect the accreditations what you designed for. So everything is aligned. So now you will have will also have scope to identify the gaps. You can say this is the gap where the student went were not able to achieve. So why it is not achieved. So now you'll have evidences in your hands like why it was not achieved. Show it to them. So they'll be impressed. Yeah. So this is one strategy which you can use in your day-to-day classes as well. So I think we have come to the end of this session. So I'd like to take any questions if you have. Or you can post on chat. I'll be ready to answer.
Dear participants, if you have any questions, kindly post it in the chat box.
Also, you can post on chat. So I assume that I have given you some insights on how to use AI tools for preparing some meaningful contents for our day-to-day class. So what we have discussed now is for one single class. Now you can repeat this for different topics or for the entire unit 1 contents, and you will have a good amount of resources in your hands. And all the formative assessment, you have questions, you have PPTs, you have videos, and you have learning outcomes and activities, learning activities as well. So you'll have a rich resources in your hands, so which you can use it in your classroom. So this is like one-time activity, and once you prepare, for this, initially you need to spend some amount of time, and then once you prepare good amount of resources, now every semester we are going to, or every academic year we are going to deal with same syllabus, right? So it will be easy for you. So maybe the first year you might feel little hectic, but once you prepare now, it will be very easy for you to use it near later years. And of course, there will be small changes in the syllabus that will be happening, but not the entire syllabus is going to change, right? So wherever the changes are happening, accordingly, you can incorporate the changes in the resource as well. Okay. So now I would like you to take part in this exit ticket survey. So since I told you like exit ticket, right? So here is one exit ticket platform which I have used here, Padlet. I'll also post this link in the Padlet as well, so you can straight away click on the link and post your feedback, or else you can scan this QR and take part in the exit ticket feedback. So you can give what are the takeaways, and if you have any points for improvement to me, so I'll be ready to consider those. So you can scan this QR and you can post your briefs, or else you can the direct link is also available on the chat. So you can click on that link and you can post your takeaways, key takeaways of the session, and if you have any suggestions for improvement or any feedback for me for future sessions, I'll be happy to see that. So this is another tool. So I have also shared a couple of tools with you all, so where you can use in your classrooms as well. It's all ICT tools and some AI tools which you can use in your real-time classroom practices if students have a mobile phone access, because mobile phones or at least the internet connection is required for these, right? So if your students have mobile phone access or access to internet, then you can make use of these tools in your classrooms, so which will really help in engaging the learners and motivate the learners to take part in the learning process. I can see a couple of them have posted their feedback. Happy to receive the feedback. Great learning today. Good presentation. Can we share PPT to the registered email? Thank you. Definitely, I'll share PPTs with you all. Thank you. So you can take your time in posting your responses. I would love to see your feedback on almost it's 2 hours of time. Of course, 120 minutes I have taken. So this tool where you can also have discussions as well. So we can add comments, we can add discussion points as well. So which you can use in your classroom as well for discussions and all. Yeah. Thank you for your wonderful feedback, and I would love to receive the feedback from others as well. So thank you. If you have any questions, you can post it on chat or on the Padlet. So that will be live, so we can interact after the session as well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, sir, good afternoon, everyone. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks at the conclusion of the day 2 of our FDP on Gen AI. Our sincere thanks to Lakshmi Vadi sir for delivering such an informative and thoughtful, provoking session. Thank you. So we are all also grateful to our management for the vision and continued motivation in organizing the. like this, which help us to strengthen our teaching learning ecosystem. A special words of thanks to all the faculty participants for your active engagement. Once again, I thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity, and I hope the participants
sir.
enjoyed this session, I guess.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.